Well, here we are again with Don Potter, and we're going to be looking at lesson 19 of Beyond Basic Phonics English Morphology 101. And this is our second lesson for the disguised romance prefixes. And we just have one prefix here, but it has, and let's count them here. We have one, wait, I need to turn on my pencil. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. But you are not going to let that disguise fool you, and you're going to be able to use this key, this prefix, to unlock the meaning of words that you've never seen before. And this is going to make you a way better reader. So what we have, and now remember, sub means under. And all 4 spellings here mean under. So we have sub, and the first one is subtract. And I know you know what that is. 4 take away 2 equals 2. And notice that the number's going down. And so sub means under, subtract. Next you have submarine, and that means under the sea, right? Subject, we'll be studying ject later, but subject is like the subject of the sentence. Mr. Potter is teaching Morphology 101, English Morphology 101. The subject of that is Mr. Potter in that sentence. Next you have subjective. When something's just your opinion, it's subjective, not objective. 4 take away 2 is 2, that is objective. But if I say, everybody likes, if I say dark chocolate is better than milk chocolate, well, you might not agree with me. So that's just kind of an opinion. It's subjective. It's the way I feel about it. It's not objective. Then we have subscribe, and scribe means to write. So subscribes when you fill out a form to subscribe, for example, to a magazine or a paper. I subscribe to the Reading League Journal because I want to try and follow the best science when I'm teaching reading. Next, we have subway, which is like a train that goes underneath the ground. So you got under. Then you got subjugate. And this is interesting. I would use the example of a wrestling match where that the stronger, better wrestler pins the guy down. He can't get up. He subjugated him. But it's also used in not such a good sense where people go into a nation and subjugate and turn the people there into slaves. Next we have submerge, and that ties in with submarine. And when the submarine goes under the water, it will submerge. Subordinate. A subordinate is a person who works under somebody else. For example, a corporal will work under a captain. Next we have submit. Mit means like to send, and sub means under, but submit is like when you turn in a paper that you've written an essay at school and you turn it in, you submit it for a grade. Subjunctive, I'm not sure why I included this one here. We use this term subjunctives called the mood, and so when you write in some languages, the way you feel about something determines how that word is spelled and what it means. And so in Spanish, after the word ojalá, the verb that follows is going to be different. So don't worry about that, but that's just something you'll learn later on in your really advanced English studies. Okay, pressing on. So now we did sub. Now what happens to the B in sub if you put a C after it? And this is interesting. The first is succeed. When you try something and you can do it, you succeed. And that is success. And if you add full on the end, which we've already studied as a suffix, means full, just like it sounds, only spelled with one L, then you are successful. And I would like you to notice that the C there actually has two sounds. Suck, you have a K sound. Cess, you have the S sound, because the E here after the C makes the C say its S sound. And so that's pretty interesting. You got two. Now we're going to see what happens if we add an F after the prefix, and the B here becomes a F if the next letter is an F. So here we see that it is doubled. Now when you say these words, you're only going to hear that F one time, but you're going to write it twice. So this could be a spelling problem. You need to be thinking, not just when you know by now when you spell, it's not all a matter of just listening and writing sounds. You have to know the letters that go there. So, but suffix goes on the end of a word. So here we're studying prefixes that you fix or put on the front of a word. A suffix goes at the end of the word to add to its meaning or change its meaning a little bit, enrich its meaning. Suffer, maybe you got a bad cold and so you suffer from a cold. Sufficient means you have enough of something. You have sufficient supply of pencils to get you through the school year. But if you don't have, then we can put the prefix in on the front of it. And now we have insufficient. We don't have enough. Then we have SUG, sug. And this is like the C because it's going to have two sounds. It's going to have the G, the G sound, and sometimes we write it that way. And some dictionaries actually draw a line over it. And then the second one is going to make the J sound, okay? And some people, this is interesting, some people will actually, to show that, write a G and put a dot on the top of it. How's that look? A dotted G would make the J sound, okay? It would tell you it's a J. Noah Webster, my hero, by the way, did that in his dictionary and his spelling book. So we have suggest. I suggest that you study this lesson very carefully. Suggestive. It was suggestive. And that gives us a suggestion. So it suggests, verb, suggestion, a noun, suggestive, adjective. Okay, so good luck with this lesson. Fortunately, it's one of the shorter ones. I hope you enjoy it. And as you pick up books and things to read, such as Mary Petchy's Why Johnny Ain't Never Gonna Learn to Read, A Challenge to the Nation. Anyway, as you read, be looking for these prefixes, and it's going to help you to be able to read a whole lot better and understand the meaning of a word, even if you've never seen it before. And that's what we're trying to do. So anyway, best of luck, and we will see you in the next lesson.